I am just going to apologize and give a little forewarning that I sound like I'm dying, and it's pretty much because I am. I can't smell anything, I can't taste anything. More importantly, I can't hear anything, including myself. So we're just gonna go ahead, roll with it. SEMA got the best of me. Airplanes just destroyed every function from like neck up, so we're just gonna roll with it. Have you ever had it where something breaks on your car or it's time for service on something of your car and you try to either convince A, yourself, or B, someone else that it's worth upgrading said part versus just replacing it? Fun conversation, right? Well, that's what we're talking about today. What is going on, everybody? My name is Gels from Fitment Industries, and today on this episode of the Build Sheet, we're gonna be going over some of the best parts to upgrade versus replacing on your car. Before we go ahead and get into it, don't forget to subscribe, and of course, if you haven't picked up your hoodie yet for a chance to win some free wheels, tires, and suspension, make sure you stop over by fitmentindustries.com after this and pick one up. That's right, free Cosmos wheels, free silver suspension, and free Michelin tires. Just pick up a hoodie, get entered and win. It's that easy. When it comes to aftermarket parts, there always seems to be a little bit of concern when considering aftermarket parts versus OEM or replacement parts, but that's not exactly what we're going to be talking about here. In that situation, the conversation usually arises when comparing an aftermarket replacement that is not meant to provide any sort of performance upgrade or benefit, but to simply be the cheaper alternative for an OEM part. In the case we are talking about, however, we're talking about swapping things out with a performance variant or something that us as car enthusiasts would enjoy more than an OEM part. And one of the first things on that list of parts that is worth upgrading instead of replacing is your suspension. Maybe you were already on the verge of getting a set of coilovers or lowering springs, and now your front end has started to clunk and bang over every stupid bump in the road. Well, now guess what, bud? That's your sign. Not only is upgrading your suspension one of the best mods that you can do to your car, but it is also one of the easiest and in some cases most cost-effective as well. It not only changes how your car feels and performs, but it also changes how your car looks overall. You get the best of both worlds here, and if your suspension is already clapped per se, why not opt for something a little bit better? Now, I'm not saying that you have to go drop a couple grand on some coilovers or air suspension or anything like that. I mean, it's always an option, fitmentindustries.com. But even something like some upgraded shocks and pairing them with some lowering springs like H&R, Eibach, or even Tane is another great alternative for those who want to upgrade but also not spend a ton of money while doing it. I've ran Kona yellow shocks and Eibach springs in my Eclipse for years, and I absolutely love them. And it is a very common choice when looking to not spend the price for coilovers but still want a lower car with a little bit of performance. Of course, you're not going to get the adjustability of coilovers and all that, but it was a night and day difference from stock, and I haven't looked back since. Moving on down the list, we get to the good old lovely air filter. Air filters are a commonly replaced item in cars, whether that's swapping out early to replace it with a performance filter or just regular maintenance. Now here you have two options. You can either ditch the entire unit of your stock intake and swap it out with a performance intake and filter, or you can just upgrade to a drop-in filter. It is truly up to you how much you want to spend with this upgrade. However, if you can't get away with spending $400 to $500 on an entire intake system, is definitely worth looking into. For the most part, they're anywhere from between $30 and $50 more than your regular replacement filter, and they're usually washable or reusable, meaning you get multiple uses out of the same filter, simply making up for the additional cost right there. With newer cars and even some older cars as well, the intake designs are already pretty freaking decent from the factory as far as getting a decent flow of cold air from the outside of the car. So something as simple as a drop-in filter can make the most out of your situation. Coming up quick in at number 3 on the list, we have a fan favorite, and that is going to be your brake components. This includes everything from your brake pads to your rotors and even your lines. If you're regularly pushing your car to the limits, or if you like to, just send her quick down River Road on a nice fall afternoon, it's only going to be a matter of time before you need to replace your brakes. So it's a great time to maybe step up the game a little bit with some brake pads and rotors that are meant for that type of driving or the type of driving that you are doing. Upgrading your equipment that is rated to handle more heat and abuse is not only going to last longer, but it is going to handle better as things start to heat up inside your wheel wells. We suggest looking into what type of material of brake pad is going to suit your type of driving the best. Now, whether that be a semi-metallic compound, a ceramic, or maybe even a carbon metallic, pair with some good rotors that stay nice and cool, and even some upgraded steel brake lines to combat against flex and expansion and all that kind of good stuff. You can feel a little more comfortable and confident knowing that when you have to be hard on the brakes, that the car is actually going to slow down. Leading us right into the fourth and final bullet point on the list for today, which is going to be your tires. Now, it may come as no surprise that your car tires are going to eventually wear out. And when that time comes, it's a great opportunity to get your hands on something better. And that is going to mean something different for everyone. Now, Giles, what do you mean by that? Now, what I mean by that is that in this case, finding a tire that is going to perform well for you and your driving needs or characteristics. Because guess what? Not everyone is going to need some R888s or Michelin Sport Cups. Fantastic tires, don't get me wrong. They're not going to be suited for everyone. However, if they are suited for it, fitmentindustries.com, wheels, tire, suspension, the whole deal. Take this time to do a little bit of research to figure out exactly what you as a driver expect out of your tires and overall out of your car. Do you need them to handle all season weather? Are you strictly going to be using it for the track? Are you drifting? Are you autocrossing? Are you going to be daily it, but only daily it during the summer? Do you need to stretch your tires? All these things that you have to take into consideration and are all part of upgrading your car's performance to what you need. Typically, if you need to replace your tires and are looking for a simple upgrade over what you have from stock or from factory, you aren't going to be spending a whole lot more than you would by just replacing them. Not true for all cases, however, but it is possible. Brands like Nitto, Michelin, and Federal all have some great options that are good performance replacement that are just the next step up from what the car comes with from the factory and can truly make a difference. Just ask any BRZ or FRS owner and they'll tell you, because for some reason they decided to put literal Prius tires on our cars. There you have it. A good start to probably a never-ending list of parts that are going to be a great option to upgrade versus replace when it comes to modifying your car. If there's something that you think should be on the list, go ahead and drop it down in the comments section below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. If you're in the market to upgrade anything wheel, tire, or suspension related, don't forget to check out fitmentindustries.com, where we have thousands of not only wheel and tire packages, as well as suspension components like coilovers, lowering springs, air suspension, everything like that. Or just take a chance to pick up a hoodie. You can enter in and win some free wheels, tires, and suspension from Cosmos, Michelin, and Silvers. Either way, it's a great outcome. I'm Giles from Fitment Industries. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you later. Peace. Where's the soda effect?